The Arizona sun blazed down on the bustling community center as people from all walks of life gathered, eager to meet the man who had become one of the most talked about figures in the country. Donald Trump's visit to this small corner of the state was part of a nationwide tour to promote local charity initiatives, and the crowd had gathered in anticipation. Small business owners, local leaders, and families had all come together for what they hoped would be a memorable day. As Trump moved through the crowd, shaking hands and exchanging pleasantries, the air was filled with the usual flurry of excitement that accompanied any of his public appearances. He was in his element, waving to cameras, posing for pictures, giving his trademark speeches about the importance of hard work, business, and community. It was business as usual for him, but there was something in the air today, something different. Amid the sea of adults, one small figure stood alone at the edge of the crowd, clutching a homemade sign with both hands. The sign read in bright, bold letters, "I'm your biggest fan." It was simple, yet there was a sincerity in it that caught the eye. A little girl, no older than 6, stood nervously, glancing up at the towering figure of Trump. She was shy, her small body almost hidden behind the sign she held, but her eyes, wide with both excitement and uncertainty, were locked onto him. The crowd seemed to notice the girl at the same time Trump did. It was an unusual moment in an otherwise typical event, people murmuring to one another, sensing that something was unfolding, something different from the usual fanfare. Trump, who was known for his strong, bold personality, paused in the midst of his conversation with a local leader. He turned toward the girl, his eyes softening for a split second as he noticed the sign she held. The room fell into a hushed silence. No one moved, no one spoke. The energy shifted as the crowd waited to see what would happen next. Trump, the often brash figure, the businessman with a reputation for tough talk, knelt down in front of the little girl. His towering figure, usually dominating a room, was now brought down to her level, literally and figuratively. The little girl hesitated, unsure of what to say or do, but Trump smiled warmly at her, his usually confident demeanor now replaced with a gentleness that was unfamiliar, yet deeply human. He looked her in the eyes, his voice no longer booming but soft and sincere. "Well, aren't you something special?" he said, his words carrying a kindness that surprised everyone. The crowd, who had expected a typical political exchange, now found themselves watching something much more personal, something real. He paused, the moment stretching, the room holding its breath. "Tell me, what's your name?" The little girl blinked, her shyness giving way to a shy, hesitant smile. She took a deep breath, and with a voice just above a whisper said, "Lily." The simplicity of her response carried more weight than anyone in that room had expected. The crowd, still silent, exchanged looks of surprise and warmth. In a room full of people accustomed to politics and policy, a small moment between a man and a child had captured everyone's attention. Trump, who had once been known for his divisive words, was now part of something that transcended politics. A brief, simple exchange that would go on to touch the hearts of millions. This was a moment no one could have predicted. As Trump knelt in front of Lily, the moment stretched, heavy with anticipation. The crowd remained silent, watching, waiting. His towering figure, usually commanding the space around him, was now crouched down to meet the shy little girl. His usual bravado had softened, replaced by a warmth that seemed to fill the air. His gaze lingered on her homemade sign, the bright letters now standing out against the hum of the room. "Tell me, Lily," he began gently, his voice softer than it had been all afternoon. "What made you want to hold this sign?" His eyes, often sharp and calculating, held a tenderness that caught even the most seasoned observers off guard. "What's the story behind it?" Lily, still a little hesitant, took a small step forward, her fingers nervously gripping the edges of her sign. She met his gaze with a quiet determination, the spark of excitement starting to shine through her shyness. "Because you're the best," she said with a soft, shy smile, her voice barely above a whisper, but filled with genuine admiration. Trump's lips curled into a genuine smile, the corners of his eyes crinkling as he shifted his weight slightly. "Well, thank you. That's very kind of you," he said, his tone rich with sincerity. The crowd could feel the shift, a softness and authenticity that had been unexpected, even for those who had come to expect the boldness of a businessman turned politician. It was a moment of real connection, a human exchange that couldn't be staged. "What do you want to be when you grow up, Lily?" Trump asked, his eyes bright with genuine curiosity. It was a simple question, but the way he asked it felt different, more personal, more invested. Lily's eyes widened slightly, her shyness momentarily forgotten as she straightened her posture. "I want to be an astronaut," she said, her voice now full of excitement. "I want to fly in space and see the stars up close." Trump leaned in slightly, his interest clearly piqued. He was surprised, impressed by her ambition. "An astronaut, huh?" he said with a chuckle. "That's amazing. You know, when I was your age, I never thought much about space. But look at you, thinking about going to space already. That takes guts, and a lot of brains." He paused for a moment, his smile never leaving his face. "I think you're going to do it. I think you can go to space, and who knows, maybe one day we'll see your name on a rocket ship." Lily's eyes lit up, her cheeks flushed with excitement. The crowd, who had been silently observing, now exchanged glances, a collective breath held as the magic of the moment unfolded. Here, in the middle of a political event, something real was happening, a moment of pure connection, of encouragement, that transcended the usual rhetoric. Trump's words continued, the sincerity in his voice deepening as he spoke to her. "Listen, Lily, whatever you want to do, whether it's being an astronaut or anything else, you can do it. The key is to believe in yourself and never stop dreaming, and never let anyone tell you that you can't do something because of where you come from or who you are. The world needs dreamers like you." The room, which had been filled with hushed anticipation, now seemed to come alive with a sense of possibility. Even the press members, usually jaded by the repetitive nature of politics, couldn't help but be moved by the exchange. It wasn't just about the words. It was about the way Trump spoke them, the way he saw her for who she was, a little girl with big dreams, and a belief that those dreams could take her anywhere. As the conversation continued, the atmosphere in the room shifted completely. It was no longer about policies, speeches, or the usual political maneuvers. It was about something more profound, human connection, kindness, and the power of a simple gesture to change someone's life. The crowd watched in awe, realizing that this moment, small as it seemed, would resonate far beyond this room, echoing in the hearts of all who witnessed it. The exchange between Donald Trump and the little girl, Lily, had lasted only a few minutes, but it was enough to leave an indelible mark. As the crowd slowly began to stir, the cameras continued to capture every moment, and it didn't take long before the footage started to circulate on social media. In an instant, it was everywhere. On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even news outlets, all broadcasting this rare moment of genuine connection between a political figure and an everyday citizen. Within hours, the video had gone viral. Hashtags like Chalk Trump Inspires, Little Dreamer, and Kindness Goes Viral began to trend, flooding timelines across the country. The simple interaction, full of sincerity and encouragement, had struck a chord with people from all walks of life. People were moved by the sight of a child's dream being nurtured by someone who was usually seen in a much more polarizing light. It was a side of Trump that many had not expected to see. A softer, more compassionate version, vulnerable in a way that resonated deeply. In living rooms across the country, people paused their routines to watch the clip again and again. They shared it with their friends, their families, their colleagues, talking about it as though it had somehow changed their perspective on the man they thought they knew. The video was a fleeting glimpse of humanity, a reminder that beneath the politics, there were real connections being made. A little girl's dream had been acknowledged by someone who had the power to make others believe that anything was possible. The event organizers, initially caught off guard by the surge of attention, released a brief statement explaining that they had never anticipated such an outpouring of love and admiration for the moment. They expressed gratitude for the positive response and emphasized that this exchange had been an unexpected but heartwarming highlight of the event. What had started as a typical meet and greet had turned into something much more significant, a public reminder of the power of kindness. Meanwhile, on social media, the reactions were pouring in. Some commented on the genuine warmth Trump had shown Lily, marveling at how he had listened to her, encouraged her, and even joked about her future as an astronaut. For some, It was a side of him they had never seen before, one that wasn't defined by politics or controversy, but by the raw emotion of a moment shared between two people, one a small child with big dreams, the other a man with the power to lift her up. But the impact wasn't limited to the public's reaction. Lily herself became a symbol of hope for many. Her bright eyes and eager smile, now captured in every viral post, represented something bigger, an embodiment of the dreams that every child holds, regardless of their background or circumstances. People began sharing their own stories of how they, too, had been inspired by the interaction. Some recalled their childhood dreams and how they had lost sight of them over the years. Others, like Lily, found new hope and courage to keep going after what they truly wanted. It wasn't just about Donald Trump anymore. The focus had shifted to the message, the connection, and the reminder that every person, no matter their age, background, or status, deserves encouragement and belief in their potential. As the day passed and the video continued to spread, there was a palpable shift in the conversation surrounding Trump. For many, the moment became more than just a news clip. It became a touchstone of kindness, a reminder that even in the most unexpected circumstances, genuine moments of humanity can change everything. This simple exchange, brief as it was, had sparked something larger than anyone could have anticipated, reverberating across the country, reminding everyone that sometimes the most important things we can do are the smallest acts of kindness. In the days that followed the viral moment in Arizona, Donald Trump found himself overwhelmed by an outpouring of support and messages from across the country. People from all walks of life, both those who had supported him and those who had once been skeptical, reached out to express their gratitude and admiration. The video of his conversation with little Lily had gone viral, and it was clear that it had struck a chord far deeper than anyone had anticipated. The messages flooded in, some via social media, others through handwritten letters. They came from teachers, parents, community leaders, and even strangers who had been touched by the simplicity and sincerity of the moment. Many expressed how rare it was to see a figure like Trump, known for his polarizing political career, show such warmth and kindness. They praised him for his words of encouragement to Lily, a little girl with big dreams, and for reminding everyone that even the smallest acts of kindness could make a world of difference. As Trump sat at his desk one morning, reading through some of the letters, he couldn't help but feel a shift within himself. For the first time in a long time, he was reminded of the power of moments like these, moments where true, heartfelt encouragement and support were offered freely, without expectation of anything in return. The raw sincerity that had emerged during his interaction with Lily had touched more lives than he could have imagined. One letter in particular stood out to him. It was from a mother in a small town, whose daughter had recently started a new school after struggling with bullying. The mother shared how her daughter had watched the video of Trump with Lily and how it had sparked something in her. "My daughter came home from school that day with a smile on her face," the letter read. "She said that if someone like you could believe in a little girl's dream, then maybe she could believe in her own dreams too. You have no idea how much your words meant to her." Trump sat back in his chair, the weight of the letter settling in his chest. It was a reminder, one that echoed in the back of his mind, that sometimes the most profound impacts aren't made in boardrooms or rallies, but in the quiet moments when we take the time to genuinely connect with others. Encouraging a young girl's dream had turned into something much bigger than he had expected. It had inspired not just Lily, but countless others who had felt invisible or discouraged in their own lives. In interviews following the viral moment, Trump reflected on what had happened. "I've always been known for my strength, my boldness," he said during one appearance. "But there's a different kind of strength in showing kindness, in lifting people up when they need it the most." His voice, usually steady and commanding, softened as he continued. "Sometimes we forget the impact we can have on others with just a few words of encouragement. You never know how far those words will travel or how they'll change someone's life." This new reflection on kindness, vulnerability, and the power of a simple gesture was unexpected, but it revealed a different side of Trump, one that had been hidden beneath the layers of politics and public image. In the quiet moments of reflection, Trump began to realize that his actions, both big and small, could have a far-reaching impact. The lessons he had learned that day about kindness, encouragement, and the importance of believing in others would stay with him for years to come. And just as the video of his meeting with Lily had gone viral, so too did his message. People were listening, not just to his words, but to the humanity behind them. In a world that often seemed divided, this moment was a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness could change someone's perspective, and in turn, change the world. The day after the viral moment in Arizona, the ripple effects of Trump's unexpected conversation with Lily began to spread like wildfire. It wasn't just the video that went viral. It was the message, the unspoken truth that resonated with people of all ages, from all backgrounds. What had started as a simple exchange between a public figure and a child had sparked a national conversation about kindness, encouragement, and the power of believing in young people's dreams. Local leaders and activists, inspired by what they had seen, began to share their own stories of reaching out to children and supporting their dreams. In small towns and big cities, from teachers to parents to community organizers, people started coming forward with their own experiences of encouraging the next generation. They shared stories of mentoring young people, offering advice, and most importantly, reminding kids that their dreams mattered. Social media exploded with personal accounts of how a single word of support could make all the difference. A hashtag campaign emerged, #SupportTheDreams, calling on individuals to share their stories of encouraging children and young adults in their lives. Photos of teachers, coaches, and mentors flooded timelines, each one a reminder that the simple act of believing in someone could be transformative. In cities across the country, local leaders began organizing events to promote the campaign. Schools, libraries, and community centers opened their doors to host dream-sharing events, where children could come together and share their aspirations, while adults and mentors listened, encouraged, and supported them. The goal was clear: to ensure that every child, no matter their background or circumstances, felt seen and heard. And at the heart of it all, Trump, who had once been seen solely as a figurehead of politics, now found himself at the center of a movement. His message of kindness, delivered so unexpectedly in that moment with Lily, had found a place in the hearts of many. People started to look at him differently, not just as a businessman or politician, but as someone who, in that fleeting moment, had made a tangible difference in a young girl's life, and by extension, in the lives of countless others. In a final speech, given at a special event celebrating the success of the campaign, Trump addressed the nation with a renewed sense of purpose. "I stand here today, looking at the faces of all those who have shared their stories, their hopes, and their dreams with us," he began, his voice steady but filled with emotion. "What I've learned is that kindness is the most powerful tool we have. It's the thing that unites us, that pushes us forward, and that reminds us that no dream is too big." He paused, looking around at the crowd of children, parents, and mentors, their faces shining with hope. If we all did just one small thing to support a child's dream, just think of what we could accomplish. A world where every child has the opportunity to chase their dreams, to believe in themselves, and to know that someone cares. Let's make the future brighter, together. The crowd erupted into applause, but it wasn't just applause. It was the sound of a movement taking root, of people beginning to understand the transformative power of kindness. What had begun as a brief conversation had now become something much larger, a national call to action, a reminder that every small act of encouragement can create a ripple effect that changes lives. And as the event drew to a close, the message was clear. It wasn't just about one conversation or one viral video. It was about every person, every teacher, mentor, parent, and community member, doing their part to lift up the next generation, to believe in their potential, and to show them that their dreams, no matter how big or small, mattered. This story is a powerful reminder of how one small act of kindness can spark a ripple effect that transforms lives. What can you do today to encourage a child, a young adult, or anyone in your community to chase their dreams? Whether it's offering a word of encouragement, mentoring someone in need, or simply believing in their potential, your actions have the power to change someone's life. Join the movement, share your story, support a dream, and be the encouragement someone needs to believe in themselves. Let's create a world where every child knows they matter and that their dreams are worth pursuing. Together, we can make a brighter, more compassionate future for all. What will you do today to support a dream? support the dreams.